hey parents, I just wanted to make this quick video to help introduce you to something new that we're going to try for the next 6 months together. And I think it really kind of derives from two main passages of scripture. The first one is Deuteronomy 6, which is the Shema, which is probably something you've heard of many times in your life. I'm going to read it just one more time. Deuteronomy 6:4 says, "Listen, Israel, the Lord our God, the Lord is one. Love the Lord your God with all your heart, with all your soul, and with all your strength. These words that I'm giving you today are to be in your heart." Verse 7, repeat them to your children. So, two main commands. Number one, you, parent, are to love the Lord your God with all your heart, soul, and mind. And then the second one is this: you are to teach those to your children. And then the writer of Deuteronomy gives you kind of some practical tips on doing that. After these, those are the main two ones. You love God, and then teach them to your children so that your children can love God. And then I was reminded of Matthew 28, talking about the Great Commission and how we are to make disciples of all nations. And for us parents, the greatest disciple that we can pour into is our children. And so for you, that means your greatest disciple that you can make is your student. And I want to come alongside you and equip you and encourage you and provide you this resource to help you do just that. And so starting on July 5th, this is what's going to happen. We're going to use a resource called Multiply. And it is a book, but also has a website that is free to use that we're going to really use to our advantage to help you and myself to disciple our students. And just a brief overview of this book. They do a great job of describing what a disciple is and the process of making disciples. And then it kind of answers some kind of big picture theological beliefs about God. And it's something really cool. They break down the Bible into different kind of categories and kind of weaves in and out of the Old Testament, New Testament to describe the story of the scripture, which ends up in Revelation. So they do a good job of an overview of the Bible. And what it helps you do as the parents of your student is to disciple them and to train them to see who God is, what His Word says, and how to actually live this out. And so here's what we're going to do. Starting on July 5th, I will send out a weekly email to you with a couple of different things. The first thing is a video, and it's Francis Chan and David Platt who wrote this book, and they're sitting down discussing kind of like the main contents of each week. And so on Sunday, you are to watch that video as the parent to help prepare you for that week. And then it will also include a link to the chapter for that week. And I will kind of break it down for what you and your student are supposed to read, and then it will provide you a discussion question that you are to read and answer together. And so in this email, I'll have the video, and then I'll have a link that you'll be able to download the chapter. And so in this chapter, you are to read it, and your student is to read it, and then you are to answer the question that at the end of that section of the chapter together. So a couple of ways that you can do this. So you can each read it separately, or you can read together as a family, or if you want, you can have your student read it to you, you can read it to your student. There's so many different ways. There's no right or wrong way to do that. Just make sure that that part of the chapter is read, and then make sure that you discuss that discussion question together. A couple examples of that is you can be at the dinner table and say, "Hey, did you read today?" And they say, "Yes." You say, "Well, here's the question. What do you think about this question?" And hopefully that will lead to more discussion on that topic. Another way that you can do this is maybe if you have all different schedules, is you can make like a family group text and say, "All right, here's the question for today. Everyone text in your response," which could lead to further competition when you get home together. Another way you can do this is maybe go on a family walk. And sometimes it's good to get out of our comfort zone and go on a walk and to be able to talk about the question for the day. Or maybe you're going to ride to, maybe you have to go to Little Rock, and so you get in the car together, and on your way to Little Rock, you can ask the question. There are no right or wrong ways to do this. And so we'll have this section of the chapter you read each day with a question each day that you have to answer as a family. And then after that, you will have one verse as a family to memorize, which I will include at the end of the email. And so the verse will be a very relative to that topic for the week. And then after that, I will kind of give like one kind of challenge or application for you to, as a family, apply what you just learned all that week to your lives. So that's kind of what the plan is. And I just really want to challenge and encourage you as I send out these emails. Even if you miss one or two or three, do the current one. Just jump in somewhere. As I really feel and I really believe that us parents, we are the primary disciple makers of our students. And I, as a youth pastor, get to come alongside you and encourage you to do just that. So be looking for this email on July 5th, which will include the first week of our 24-week journey together to disciple our students better. So please join us. You can share it with your other friends. It's not just for our church, it's for really anyone who's access to an email. So I really hope that you will join in with us and that we would do a great job of following the commands of Deuteronomy 6, which is to love God with all of our heart, soul, and mind, and that we would teach them to our children. And not only that, but we would make disciples of our children. So will you join me in making disciples of your student throughout the next 6 months? So hope you join us, and we will talk to you soon.